Welcome to the Distant Lands Trebuchet building tutorial. This tutorial is only for how to build a 7 trebuchet on distantlands.net. There's two kinds of trebuchets in Siege Warfare. You can read about them both if you go to distantlands.net and you click on the Warfare page. The only difference between them basically is their range and the materials they require to build. So the first thing you need to do is to figure out where you want to get through. I'm just going to use a blank section of wall here. So what you need to do is consider the range first. The maximum range for a large trebuchet is about 150 blocks, which on far sight limit is roughly how far you can see, roughly 10 chunks. We need to count 150 blocks. The easiest way to do that is to use coordinates. Now I believe this is the z-axis if I move like this. So about 40, and if you know your maths, if you subtract 150 from 40, let's see, minus 110. Keep in mind that when you build a trebuchet, it all has to be done while the other team is online and while you've declared warfare. So you're not going to be doing this, well, they're not going to let you do this basically. They're going to be trying to stop you the whole process. So this is the maximum range, around about here. We're about 150 blocks away. So the very edge of the sight limit, and as you can see the cathedral is already unloading because it's too far away. So I'm just going to build it a bit smaller just so we don't lose sight of the city while we build. So, on earth? Oh, they're traps. Basically a large trebuchet takes up the following resources. It takes up 2.5 stacks of logs. It's actually recommended to use spruce for a large trebuchet. 23 planks, and we need 10 iron blocks, not counting ammunition, and we need 10 pieces of fence. 9, 10. I'm going to suggest having some dirt as well as all your other stuff needed to defend you. Okay, it's called a 7 trebuchet for a reason. Most of its measurements equal 7 blocks, and if I try and avoid those traps over there, so 5, 6, 7. Doesn't really matter which way the logs are facing, I'm just trying to make it look good as I go. So you've got 7 at the front, and then what you want to do is you want to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. A log there, a log, whoops, between those two. Hopefully I won't get caught in the night. So far we've got 2 end caps of 7 long, and between we've got 2 beams of 7. And the same thing at the back, 5, 6, 7. And then we have to come out, I believe it's 4 blocks either side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And if you count the middle one, it's 7. So a lot of the measurements here equal 7. They don't all, so don't get caught up. But it's just a rough guide, and it's a nickname for the type of trebuchet it is. Alright, so this is the main base. And the other thing about trebuchets while I'm building this is that this is where the dirt comes in handy. Everything that they are built on, so every block under these blocks has to be secure. There can't be wool under it, there can't be water under it, it can't be hollow under it, unless there's a cave like 50 blocks down. It all has to be as as secure underneath as possible. The reason for that is that there's so much force exerted by the trebuchet. If the ground underneath is not stable, it's going to backfire, and I'm going to show you what a backfire looks like afterwards. It's not pretty, especially not during the middle of a war. So I'm just doing the beams up. I should have done that vertical beam before I did the side ones. And you want a middle beam, and then we go from this end. You also can't have dirt on it, that'll cause a backfire. Pretty much if it's anything other than what's in the in the video, not the video, in the guide to building a trebuchet, then it's going to backfire, and I shouldn't have dropped down because now I can't. Okay, the next part is a bit tricky. It's the beam. Oops, I didn't even do it on center. You can see how easy this is to mess up. You really have to concentrate on what you're doing. Consider trying to do this when someone's attacking you and it's even more difficult. So this has to be plank, this top one. Oh, they're trying to video bomb me. I don't think so. Daytime. Alright, so the front one is 6, and the back one, I believe, is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then 1, 2, 3 logs, and then 1, 2, 3. Okay, so there's 2 more things to build. We need to build the counterweight. Again, dirt comes in handy here. And the counterweight is a little tricky. You have to build... We have to put a log there. 1, 2, 3 iron. 1, 2, 3. Oops, ran out of iron already. That's not right. I need a dumb pick. What's diamond pick? That was wrong. Okay. That was my bad. Okay, there we go. So we need 2 shapes like that of iron. And get up here. A log in there, and this bottom one actually has to be log. So there's 2 pieces, and 3 logs holding all this stuff in place. Oh, don't need an axe. And then the next thing we need to do is to build the what is it? The ammunition. And like I said before, the ammunition wasn't counted towards the resource count, sorry. So I think it's 42, yep. So the ammunition will go... There should actually be a gap here, so I've done something else wrong. So I'm not sure why I've done that measurement wrong. Very strange. Okay, because this isn't making sense, I'm going to add the diagonal supports. Put the dirt over there so it saves time. Did I actually get 23 planks at the start, because I've got planks left over. Maybe I'm missing another beam somewhere. Do you know what I suspect? Do you know what? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's not even 7 in the middle. That's what I've done wrong. So shift all this forward. So now that's 3, and now this is 7. Oh, and another bit people usually forget is these parts. And now I am actually... Whoa. What on earth did I do here? I started to... What? I do apologise. The only time I've actually made a trebuchet is when I designed them. And that was probably a year ago. This should all be spruce, I think I've mentioned that. If this is oak, it won't work. Oak is not strong enough in the roleplay. Whoops. And you need 2 bits in there, so that uses up all our spruce. So we know we're doing something right at least. I think the wood actually goes in there, and that uses up all the wood. Okay, so this is now set up and ready to go. What I would do is I would come along and I would scan the ground like this and make sure that it's all solid underneath, and if there are any holes under it, that doesn't count because that's too far down. But if they've cheated and just sort of flattened ground lazily, then it's going to backfire.